Good morning, Dr.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, Dr.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm good. Our Vice Chancellor, sir, is also there, sir. Mr. Sid Baliga has also joined, the author of the book for which we are having the launch today, sir. If it's okay, we can wait for a couple of minutes, sir. The students almost, they were having another session, so they are in next 2 minutes, everyone will be there.
Sure. I'll just check if Vijoy is joining.
In the meantime, you can check, sir.
Yeah.
Around 170 students has joined already.
Yes, sir. They are continuously adding there. They were having their aptitude training session, which was going on.
Okay. Okay.
So in a couple of minutes time, almost 200 of them will be there, sir. The weather has also changed here, so
Weather has become beautiful.
Yes, sir.
And
Vijoy has joined, Dr. Sanjeev.
Right, sir.
Hi, Vijoy.
Sonali, you're there?
Sonali, you're not audible.
Hello.
You are
Sonali,
a
are you
little bit
there?
audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just check your connection. Your voice is slightly on the lower side. I'm not able to see you. If you can switch on your video. Yeah, there she is. Mr. Basu is also joined. Mr. Baliga, he is there?
Yes, I can see him in the list.
Yeah, I'm on the
now
call.
I can see. Yeah, good morning, sir. How are you?
Very good, Karan.
Good to have you with us on this book launch.
Yeah, same here. Looking forward to it.
Right, sir. Our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Karan Singh, sir, has also joined, sir. We have Mr. Vijoy Basu from Cognizant and Mr. Sid Baliga, the author of the today's book launch. So it's okay. Shall we start the event?
yes.
Sonali, perhaps you can start
Hello.
with the, yeah,
Good morning. Am I audible?
yeah, you are audible.
A very a very warm good morning to all of you. On behalf of IBS Dehradun, ICFAI University, I, Sonali Bhatt, welcome you all for the book launch event. We extend our warm welcome to Mr. Sid Baliga, sir, author and Vice President, Vani Coach, Mr. Vijoy Basu, Senior Director, Cognizant, our Honorable Vice Chancellor of ICFAI University, Dehradun, Dr.Ram Singh, sir, who has 30 years of teaching, research, administrative, and consultancy experience in top institutions and universities in India, 17 years, and abroad 13 years. He worked on various top academic and administrative positions during the tenure of his work. He has over 150 research papers in reputed peer-reviewed journals and conference proceedings. He has authored 5 books of his credit. He has 6 national and international published patents. Out of those, 4 international patents are granted in the latest thrust areas of engineering and technology. He has experience of working for national and integrity accreditations, including ABT accreditation of USA. He has visited all major continents, including USA, Europe, Japan, South Korea, Africa, Middle East countries on research, teaching, and collaborative assignments as a research fellow and professor over a decade time. He has organized 5 international conferences with national and international finance supports. His future commitment is to give the top leadership role through institutional building as an educationist, research and academic activities and academic policies at national level through his vast national and international diverse experience and peer relations. Now, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Ram Singh, to add on a few words.
Thanks, Ms. Sonali, for the introduction. And I'm very delighted to be here this morning with distinguished professionals from the management field. Though I have an engineering background, but I equally find interesting and appreciate the activities which is being carried out in the Department of Management, because I also keep the interest certain areas of management like decision science, operation research, and different kind of the search algorithms used in the management field. So management is also an area of interest for me. And I am very delighted to be here with the book, which is written by Mr. Sid Baliga ji. And the book title is Always Be Closing, a must read for budding sales representative, which includes 24 hacks for B2B sales. While I was glancing through this book, I found 24 very interesting hacks, which may be very essential and useful for the professionals who are going to work in the sales areas after getting their degrees. And when I was going one by one, each and every hack, I found each hacks are very relevant in the modern scenario of the sales. And some of you might not be knowing what is the difference between the marketing and sales. So these kind of the important hacks are also taken into account. And starting with the very first hack, which is a networking beyond the LinkedIn. These days, people think that the professional linkage are possible only through the LinkedIn areas, but the author has come up with certain ideas and interesting things by which we can go beyond the most commonly used software like LinkedIn. Like that, he has touched on so many other important hacks, altogether 24. So if this book is being used by the sales representative, I am very sure and very proud that this will be very helpful in their professional. So thank you for including me in this particular event and making me to giving me the opportunity to say a few words. I wish all the best to author and such many kind of books should come in the times to come, which may guide to the different type of professionals coming from the management field. And this kind of the work is not only essential for the student community, but it is also very important work for the global community as a whole. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjeev, calling me.
It's a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now like to introduce our Dean and Head CSDC, Dr. Sanjeev Malviya, sir, who has 25 years of experience in industry and academics. He is the faculty for marketing and business strategies at IBS Dehradun. He has his PhD in management, a qualified UGC NET management, MBA, and PGDIB Symbiosis Pune. He has 16 years of experience in academics and has 9 years of experience in industry into management, planning and expansion of business, brand management, channel sales management, training and development. I now invite our Dean and Head CSDC, Dr. Sanjeev Malviya, sir, to add on few words and share his views.
Thank you. A very good morning to all of you. It's a beautiful weather out here, although rains are there, and much needed respite is from the heat, and the humidity which was happening. And I think some amount of credit can be given to Mr. Sid Baliga. We are having a very good book launch in a very good environment, and the weather which is there. It's a pleasure welcoming Mr. Sid Baliga, an educationist and a writer amongst us. And this is the third book which he has written. We have been in touch with him on many occasions, and he has been speaking to our students and with all our faculty members as well in last couple of years. And we have been listening to his views and his opinions, and we are learning and gaining out of them. It's a pleasure having him on his book launch amongst our students and faculty members. It's also a pleasure to have Mr. Vijoy Basu, the senior director from Cognizant amongst us. A very warm welcome to you, sir. I also welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Dr. Ram Karan Singh, sir. It has been under his able leadership that we are in fact we are growing from leaps and bounds. The university has made its prominent mark amongst the top universities globally. We are ranked amongst the world universities with a real impact amongst the top 50 universities, and we are also ranked amongst the top 50 universities by the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. We are again striving and moving in the direction of enhancing our achievements and aiming higher in the direction which our Vice Chancellors are setting for all the faculty members and for all of us. Thank you, sir. And he has been very encouraging and supportive in all the events which he have been conducting. It is almost in last 1 month, this is maybe the 15th event which we will be conducting for the benefit of the students, and regular industry connect is being maintained. Before we move for the formal book launch, it will be a pleasure to share with all the students a brief about Mr. Sid Baliga. He is an engineer by default, a management graduate by need, and an educationist by passion. And to top it, an author by heart. So he is a versatile person, and he has worked for the Times Group, British Council, and Aptech Limited. Currently, he is heading the operations at SaaS based communication skill development startup. He is also the vice president of the India's fastest growing tech-based communication training company stationed at Bangalore, Vani.coach. Sid has authored 3 books titled It's Official Stupid, Bihar Ki Beti, and the book launch which we are having today, Always Be Closing. This is one of the books which has real experiences and practical insights, and it is a must read for all the professionals who want a career into the field of management. It's not only sales and marketing, but in the field of management, you want to have a career, and you have to, if you aspire to rise in your career and reach to the top echelon in the careers, this is a book you should be referring to and reading to. Sid has described in his book that contrary to conventional wisdom, sales is neither an art nor a science. It's something interesting observation which he has made. And what he describes it as an amalgamation of psychology, leadership, management, and business economics. Makes sense, sir. Most B schools include sales as a part of their broader curriculum in marketing. And this book gives insights into challenges which are encountered in the long-winded sales processes, and suggests some pragmatic solution that may help the readers to build a read book for all aspiring management professionals. And just to add on, there was a survey conducted amongst the top companies, and the biggest challenge they were asked to list the topmost thing: consistent sales revenue. So to maintain that top line, to have the top line was the biggest challenge faced by almost all the top companies globally. So this book is very useful and very relevant for all the management professionals, not only for the sales, those who aspire to have careers into sales and marketing, but for every management professional. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Sid Baliga with us. I'll also like to share with the all the audience, those who are there, are the senior director from Cognizant, Mr. Vijoy Basu. Vijoy sir is an experienced analytics and digital technology leader. He has 23 plus years of experience, and the experience is into global cross business, leading digital transformation, analytics initiatives, and large scale programs and operations, with a focus on maximizing business value and profitability through strategic IT interventions. Currently, Mr. Vijoy is the global head for the artificial intelligence and analytics IT team at Cognizant, a $19 billion Fortune 200 company. Mr. Vijoy has earlier worked at GE for 16 plus years and is also a graduate of GE Information Management Leadership Program. He has been a speaker at leading conferences like Gartner, IIT, IIMs, ET Now, and is the recipient of the Next 100 CIO Leader Award. He has also been awarded multiple CEO, CIO, and industry awards in his career. A very warm welcome to you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you amongst us. And I'll invite Mr. Basu to share a few words on this event of book launch.
Thanks, Dr. Sanjeev. It's a great pleasure to be on this platform. So thanks for the invite, and thanks, Sid, for writing the book. I think it's a great book. I read it while I was on the flight over to Chennai when I was traveling this weekend. I also was reviewing with my team, and I have two folks who are from IBS Hyderabad, who are part of my team, who joined us a month back. And I have to say that the talent that we have managed to hire from IBS has been great. Both the individuals have turned out to be good rock stars for us. We pretty much, the team's feedback has been very positive. So kudos to the IBS family and faculty for grooming and building such exceptional talent. Hopefully in the future I get to also take talent from IBS Dehradun. Let's see that. From a book standpoint, right? So I'm sure many of you will think, hey, this is a sales book. Primarily, why should I be looking at sales? If you are an MBA graduate, I'm sure you will be reading about sales. But two skills that I will tell any these are very successful in your career. So sales is very important. So do not ignore the need for you to sell. So you don't have to be a sales agent, right? So even if now all of you will go off campus, right? You will get placed into companies. What you're doing there is also you are selling yourself, right? You're technically finding a job based on your performance in your academic career, right? And going down the road as you grow your career, it is very simple that your skills, your expertise, and your experience is what you're selling to be able to get hired by a company, right? And that is what that company pays you as salary. So although you're drawing a salary, you are at the end of the day creating a brand for yourself, and personal branding has become a huge exercise. So it's just as like marketing a product, you're marketing yourself, on LinkedIn, which is a great platform. So that is also a sales exercise, right? How do you differentiate yourself versus the other talent from your own organization or your campus, colleagues that you've studied with? So selling is a constant exercise. You're doing it either subtly in your career and you do not realize it. So be aware of the fact if you can hone that skill of how you position yourself and are able to sell. See, another way, if you want to look at sales, right? Anything you do in your organization, you're trying to convince your boss. You're trying to convince a group of team members. You need influencing and negotiation skills. At the end of the day, what are you doing? You're trying to sell your idea, right? You're trying to sell your viewpoint. So it is again a sale. So using the hacks that just recently, yesterday evening, I was talking to a partner in one of the big four companies, and I was talking to him about a hack, and he was pretty impressed with the suggestion that we had shared out as to how do we sell to end customers B2B. But each one of you in your roles will be soft selling, if not hard selling yourself in everything and anything that you do, be it an idea, be it a job, be it a career raise, be it a promotion. It is all part of your performance and ability, right? And then adding branding on top of it. So if you're good on able to brand yourself well, then you're going to be a person as a product who's available, who companies will be willing to hire and make them as part of your team. So look at those skills and do not think of it as pure sales. It is also soft sales that you have to do in your career. That's how I would say you look at sales beyond in any job that you do. If you're a finance professional, so you or you're an IT professional, your skills would be, hey, do I have that AI skills? If it's looking at that, if it's from an expertise, have you done a project in AI? If it is experience, have I done a project in AI in say fintech? Then you will get hired by say JPMC. So that is how you're again selling your skills and everything. So if you're conscious about the fact that you're trying to do the sale, then you will work on it and you'll be more successful versus your peers and your competitors, and you will stand out in the market. So that's my key takeaway that I would say as you look at this particular book. Another thing that I'll talk about is how do you sell, right? So when you're selling, you're basically selling a product and the features and functionalities. As an individual, you sell yourself by investing yourself, right? You invest in your anything, right? It could be I want to learn the latest and greatest in technology, right? So you are investing in money to upskill yourself, and that makes you as a better individual in the market to continue to invest in yourself to be able to sell yourself better opportunity that is aligned to your career interests. And that I always tell college students is that who are doing what and where they are positioned. Typically 5% of your team would be rock stars. Do not benchmark yourself and feel depressed that X person in my team has become a CXO in 10 years and I'm still a manager in my organization. 95% of that population is not going to be that successful. So it's only the top 5%. So do not always, it's great to benchmark and look at the best talent, but there are different circumstances why they have become very successful. Your career is yours. You decide at what pace you want to run, and do not try and compare yourself with your peers. This is very natural. I've gone through it. But that's only one takeaway as you go through your careers. Do not compare yourselves constantly with your colleagues from your college campuses. That's a good way to see where you are standing, but that should not be the way you should be looking at to drive your careers. That's all I have. Back to you, Dr. Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Basu. Sonali.
I would like to request Mr. Sid Baliga sir to share his insights and about his book.
Sure. Thank you so much. Please permit me to share a few slides, not many. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, it is visible, sir.
Okay. So good morning, or rather good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking out time to attend this session. Thanks, Dr. Sanjeev, Vijoy, and Dr. Ram for gracing this occasion. I'm not going to talk much about the book, because if I talk much about the book, then you won't read the book. So I want all of you to read the book. So the discussion or my session will not be about the contents in the book. And already Dr. Ram and Dr. Sanjeev have read a few stuff for content from the book already. So I won't read more from the book right now. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with a couple of thoughts about sales and how it is beneficial to you as a person, more than getting revenues for the organization. How is it good for you as a person? So I look at sales more like a personality development program. Uh, okay, it's like if you join a defense and work in defense for a couple of years in the armed forces, the kind of change that you see within yourself, that is what you will exactly see if you take up sales, at least in the beginning of your career, right? From an organization perspective, uh, other departments exist because of sales, and other departments will cease to exist if there is no sales. So sales is that important for an organization. So anyway, so let me take you to slide number 1. So this is the lesson number 1. The baby who cries the most gets the milk. I'm going to tell you a short story behind this. I was part of an entrepreneurship boot camp several years ago. Okay, so we had about 30 people from diverse backgrounds, but most of them were techies, but working in different industries. They were starting up something or the other for different industries, right? And 2 of us were from a sales background that time in this entire cohort of people. And this session was done at Microsoft Ventures in the accelerator. Okay, so we were given a task. So we were given a task of making an idea and making a plan, a business plan, and then going to the market and picking up rupees 1,000 as funding from a complete stranger. Okay, so task was very simple. So everyone made their plan. Okay, everyone had a great idea in place, and everyone was really, really excited starting up, and all that. And then we were told to go and get this 1,000 rupees funding from a complete stranger on the field, right? Of course, salespeople being thick-skinned, we did not have much difficulty. But the 28 techies who came from a hardcore tech background, they were literally struggling going to a stranger and asking for, especially for 1,000 rupees. Okay, so when we came back, they said, how can we go to a complete stranger and ask for 1,000 rupees? It feels awkward. So that's the lesson. So you can't feel awkward. You have to just go and ask. If you require something in life, you have to just go and ask for it. Worst to worst, what will happen? The person will refuse. He will say, no, I will not give it to you. That's all. That is what is going to happen. So this is what sales is going to teach you. It teaches you to ask, and without worrying about what the response will be. Lesson number 2. This is what I firmly believe and apply in my day-to-day life also. So the old adage is, where there is a will, there is a way. But where there is no way, we have to create a way. Okay, we can't just leave it at that. You might have a will, but still there is no way. But if there is no way, try to create a way. So sales teaches you what no college or school can teach you. Even with the best of training in school and college, salespeople fail because you face rejections day in and out. Sales is the only profession where you're going to face rejections every day. Wherever you go, 90% of the people are going to reject you. So which means you can't just give up saying that, okay, this is not happening. I'm done. I'm going back to office and saying sales is not happening. Numbers are not going to happen. So that will not work out, which means that you figure out a way to crack that particular account and get revenue from that particular company. Okay, so if you're going to do this consistently for some time, you will this will become a part of your life. So you will figure out ways to solve problems in your life also. So this is lesson number 2. So let me take you to lesson number 3. This is what even Vijoy touched upon some time back when he spoke. If you have to sell, you must tell. And this is where most of us are shy. We have some skill sets, we have some achievements, but we don't go around telling people about it. We don't shout at the top of our voice telling people, what I have achieved. This is my strength. I have written 3 books, I've written 4 books, or I have participated in this dance program, or whatever it is, or I'm a good guitarist, I'm a good boxer. Unless you tell, people will not come to know that, you're a good boxer or you're a good singer. So you have to tell. If you are waiting for that pull factor to happen, people to recognize your talent and come looking for you, it's very difficult. It happens only for Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan. Only those people have that pull factor. The rest of us all have to go around telling about our strengths to people so that the world knows about your skill sets. So this real life experience is going to help you, right? And finally, coming to the last thought. So India is a follow-up country. So you have to keep following up for peer things. If you have to get your things done, you have to follow up. So this is what sales teaches you, art of persuasion. Okay, you have to call up Dr. Sanjeev 10 times, do call him up. If you have to call Dr. Ram 20 times, call him up. But if you have to get your work done, you have to do it. Okay, of course, you can't push too much that you destroy the entire relationship, but within certain limits, you have to ensure that in a polite way, in a gentle way, you push people and get your things done. This is what sales teaches you. No client is going to just call you and say, hey, come, the check is ready, take it. So that's not going to happen. So you have to keep pushing and get your work done really in life. So these are 4 thoughts. Please apply this in your day, your career in sales, work for a few years in sales, and then move on. Right. So I leave you with these thoughts, and over to you, Dr. Sanjeev. Thank you so much.
Thank you for those interesting points which you have shared. And I'll invite few of the students for the inaugural reading. Maybe Sonali, you can come and do an inaugural reading.
Should we launch it first? Maybe Vijoy.
Yeah, please. Yes, I think that will be proper. We should go with the launch first, and then maybe inaugural reading after the launch. Please, Dr. Ram Karan Singh sir, Mr. Vijoy, Mr. Sid.
So we can hold the book and request somebody to click a photo.
Certainly.
Not sure if it is visible.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So we are unable to see the book.
That is, I think we are having that background.
Right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
You'll have to close the background, sir. Virtual background.
One second.
I think now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Say, Manshu, maybe you can click a photo, and students, you can switch on your cameras wherever is possible, those who are there.
Few students can clap hands also, so we can hear the sounds.
You can unmute and clap. Congratulations, Mr. Sid, for this hard book. We hope that it's a roaring success.
Thank you. So we can perhaps proceed with the inaugural reading.
Yeah. Sonali, Devanjana, you have gone through the book, so we'll invite both of you for the inaugural reading. Maybe Sonali, then Devanjana.
Now, I would like to share my insights from the book, which I liked the most. The first one being the pro tip on page number 12. It says it is essential to visualize being successful in the right context rather than plain daydreaming. It means simply visualizing success does not make one successful. Strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Every battle is planned, although no battle is fully fought according to the plan, which was followed by another pro tip on page 13. It says, if a client is happy, he will tell 10 people. But if he's unhappy, he will tell 100 people. And now another pro tip was on page 52, which was quite interesting. It says, try different ways to make inroads into the organization. And this is especially true for large enterprises where breaking in could be difficult. And the last one being under the topic networking beyond LinkedIn. And I request everybody to please pay attention to this one, as I found it very, very interesting. It says start networking when you do not need it. It means you cannot run around looking for water or fire extinguishers when the house is on fire. Fire extinguishers are always kept at multiple locations in large buildings. Similarly, start networking when you do not need it. But of course, have a plan in mind. You'll be surprised how your network can help you in multiple ways and on occasions that you never anticipated. The book is the mastery.
You can unmute yourself, Sonali. You're muted. Yeah.
Debanjana?
Yes. So I also went through a book. Like Sonali mentioned, start networking when you do not need it. Even I love this pro tip in your book. And I also liked a few other pro tips like be a giver, not a taker. I found these pro tips very useful personally because we only networking when we need it and generally it's great. I love the fact that you mentioned networking is like a health insurance. It is something we all should be doing in advance, but generally with networking, we become reactive instead of proactive. We also commit the mistake of becoming a taker instead of a giver in networking, and that's where we fail to build network. Related to this, you also talked about Lollipop Theory, where you crafted an interesting story about convincing your son, Bill Gates, and the president of World Bank. Know the likes, dislikes, and passions of your prospect to make an irresistible offer where your prospect sees a benefit. And only when they see a strong benefit, they will accept it. And also in mapping, mentioned the pro tip, do not be judgmental, which we generally tend to do. It is important to understand invincible relationship maps and hierarchies that exist when selling to corporate enterprise. You mentioned about the decision-making matrix, which involves initiator, influencer, user, decision maker, how to identify and use them. I really like how simple, informative, and easy to understand this book is. I would request all my peers to go through this book at least once. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Glad that you both liked it.
It's a wonderful book, sir.
Yes,
we have
sir.
kept the copies in the library also. The students can go through it and it is available online also. We all congratulate you for coming up with such a wonderful book for all the management professionals.
Thank you so much for the support.
Thank you, sir. And it's a pleasure to have you here at the book launch. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Vijoy Basu sir also in this book launch, our Professor Dr. Ram Singh sir. And Sonali, may we have the formal vote of thanks?
Yes, sir. I deem it an immense honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this outstanding event. First and foremost, I thank our distinguished guest speakers, Mr. Sid Baliga sir and Mr. Vijoy Basu sir, for not only sparing their invaluable time, but also for enlightening us with the commendable insights. Thank you for enhancing our understanding pertaining to the book in making the students understand. I'd like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir Dr.Ram Karan Singh, for sharing his views. I'd also like to thank our Dean and Head CSDC, Dr. Sanjeev Malviya, Sir. Without his active support and planned intervention, this event would not have taken place. Your encouragement has constantly bolstered all our endeavors. This word of thanks would be incomplete without expressing my gratitude for our faculty members and placement cell. In conclusion, I'd like to thank all the students for their participation in the event. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sid Baliga, sir. And thank you, Mr. Vijoy Basu, sir. In fact, we'll have you in more such events and launches, and all the very best from our side, Mr. Sid. Thanks a lot for including our students and all of us as to be a part of your book launch, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic day ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Best wishes to everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.